Yeah.
Boys, I want to get into what I think is this is a good one. This is a really good one, and it's a shape. There, I love how the NFL's making us wait. Like they're going to give us a taste of these three great football games, but like this is the one. And Buffalo's going to Kansas City. Buffalo's getting 1.5, and I just feel like we have to just cover all the bases with it. I'm going to start out by I'm just going to say it. Give me the Bills. Give me the 1.5. I love it.
I don't need the points. Give me the money line. Give me Bill. I think it's at 105 before I checked on here. Anything better than 105, anything better than even money, I'm on the Bills. I'd lock that in now because I could see that coming down. But I just think that this is like we've said this, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and we're leading up to our show today. Like the Bills are built to stop Kansas City and to beat Kansas City. Like that's how they've retooled their team. They did it earlier in the year. It was a close game at Kansas City. We were on the Bills that week, right? So we cashed in there. I think they get it done again.
This is all they've been thinking about for the last couple of years. This is the one for them. Is Josh Allen ready to take that step forward? That's what it really all boils down to at the end of the day. I like what the Bills have done to compete and put a better team together, but really all it boils down to is Josh Allen going to go out and win this football game. He's more than capable. We've seen him do it in many games across his career so far where he's more than capable of handling his business. But this is the one, and this is like his Achilles heel is this team. Sean, do you think he's feeling nervous or confident going into this matchup?
After what I saw last week, I think Josh Allen is on a little revenge tour. All right, we struggle with the Patriots sometimes. All right, let me put that to bed. Kansas City, you guys are the big dogs around here. All right, well, I'll be there Sunday night. I think he shows up in a big way. I think he shows up with his legs. I think he's a game breaker, and I think the Kansas City will struggle with him. I'm not impressed by Kansas City's defense. Nothing about them is special to me. And that's why I lean to the over. I think both teams are going balls to the wall here. I think they both know they're both going up against two powerhouses. I think it's going to be a lot of fourth downs, like going forward on fourth downs. I just think you need touchdowns in this game. And that was Buffalo's problem last year. They kicked a bunch of field goals, and they came up short.
Can't do that.
That can't happen. You have to score touchdowns in this game.
The numbers back that up, Sean. I mean, Kansas City's defense, I said this to you guys before we jumped on. Kansas City's defense is the worst side of these two teams on Sunday night, ranking 20th against the rush, 24th against the pass. It's not a premier defense. So, and Kansas City's offense on the other side is going up against a very strong Bills defense that we keep saying is built to stop Kansas City. Buffalo's pass defense ranks number 1 in the league. Rush defense ranks number 9. So, Kansas City's offense is running into a buzzsaw, in my opinion, a much stronger defense than they saw the other night in Pittsburgh. And if Kansas City gets off to a slow start like they did against Pittsburgh, this one could be over early, right? Like this could easily be over early. I just think the Bills defense matches up very well against the high-powered Kansas City offense, right? They can match strength on strength in that passing game. And if Kansas City is breaking through and scoring points on Buffalo, Buffalo's going to be, and Josh Allen, they're going to be able to score points on Kansas City as well up against that defense.
Yeah, they did it on Bill.
Yeah.
They go 7 for 7.
And we talked.
Who the hell saw that coming?
And we talked about how good New England's defense was, right? They were top 5 in both rush against the rush and the pass on defense. And that's what we talked about. Buffalo going in up against the buzzsaw of a defense, and they tore them to shreds, scoring 7 straight touchdowns, right? And now you're going up against a much weaker Kansas City defense. So even if Kansas City is able to put up points on the Bills defense, which I think is going to be tough to do, I don't think the Bills have any problem moving the ball and scoring against Kansas City. I mean, absent some, wild Josh Allen decisions or plays, or, I mean, even if Kansas City's defense really shows up with their lunch pail, I just think it's a bad matchup for them against this Bills offense.
You know what? This might be a bad comparison, but it literally just popped into my head. This Bills run, catching stride right now, reminds me of that Titans run where they made it all the way to the AFC title game. So for some, they're catching their stride, not going into the playoffs. Like when they put their foot through the door in the playoffs, it's like, oh shit, we're here. Like we're here to fuck somebody up.
Yeah, they kicked that door down.
Yeah, they didn't even put their foot in. They didn't even knock. They don't give a shit. They kicked
it off the hinges.
That was disrespectful what they did.
And nobody saw that coming. That kind of blowout. No way.
Like that.
Yeah.
And if you say you did, you're a liar. You're a liar.
For what it's worth on the market, I mean, listen, Buffalo's getting less than 40% of the tickets on the spread. They're getting 80% of the money. That is a clear signal for me in backing the Bills here, right? When you're only getting, 40% of the tickets, but generating 80% of the love, I mean, to me, that just screams Bills right now. And with that in mind, it's like the 1.5. I don't need the 1.5. Like I like the Bills outright.
But I'm glad you just brought that up. I was just going to ask you, do you guys think that they're begging you to take the Chiefs? And it's only at 1.5 in Kansas City.
Yeah, they're telling you that Buffalo's a better team.
That they clearly are. So they're begging you to take the Chiefs.
And the public is.
People are taking that bait.
Yep. That's
a scary thought. And I saw that opening around 4.5. Just to be fair, let's be real. The Chiefs are the Chiefs, and the Bills have been the Bills against the Chiefs. Besides this season, but right now, when I saw where it opened, and I'm seeing where it is, and looking at the market,
it was a 2.5. I think it opened up at 2.5, right?
Yep.
And it's come down a point. I mean, it's coming down. Even with all those tickets coming in on Kansas City, it's still the line's still moving the other way. I just think this is a fade the public kind of play. Ride with the money, ride with the Bills. If you want the 1.5, take it. But I like them outright.
So do I. I think the Bills actually handle business. And I don't want this to sound like we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We know exactly who the Chiefs are and what they are capable of.
Sure.
I don't want this to get twisted by any means. The Chiefs have been looking good, but Rob, it's like what you've said, and I've seen a lot of people talk about how good the Chiefs defense has been playing of late. And it's like they look better than they did the first month.
Yeah.
But everybody is at some point going to look better
it's tough
than
not
they did
to.
that month. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's you're the ugly duck. You're going to figure something out.
They don't feel the same this year. I mean, they not struggled with Pittsburgh because, they won by 20 or whatever, but it took them a while to get going.
Mm-hmm. Sean, they did, though. Yeah. They did struggle with them.
I mean, they didn't blow out Denver, and everyone was.
The only reason they beat up on Pittsburgh, Sean, is because Ben's just too old, man.
There's nothing left in the tank.
Yeah, it's time to hit the golf course.
That's no disrespect, but that team, the Steelers. When we were watching that game, I'm like, the Chiefs will open it up on them eventually, but if you come out sluggish like that against the Bills right now, you're in for a tough one.
Yeah,
and that could get really ugly.
It kind of the way we're talking about this game and how it's going. I think the total might be a little too high at 54. If it gets up to 55, 55.5, see if the public makes the play on the over with the two, high-powered offenses. I may look towards the under because I don't see the Bills blowing out the Chiefs like they did against New England. Mm-hmm. But I do see them putting up points, and there's that possibility that they can shut down this Chiefs offense that I don't think is clicking, necessarily on all cylinders at the moment. We know how strong their passing attack is, their ability to get those playmakers in space. I mean, that's another thing we could touch on, right? How many different times has Andy Reid throughout his career kind of revolutionized? I don't know if that's too strong of a word, but the way he's just kind of went about his offense and developing these new aspects of his offense as he's gone through, his career. And now with these Chiefs and what he's doing and his ability to get guys like, Pringle, Hill in the space and get the ball in their hands early at the line of scrimmage and just to let their speed take over. It's really been something like fun to watch. But again, I just think Buffalo, this is what they've prepared for, right? Like they've built their team up. They're the number one pass defense in the league. So I would think that they're ready for that. And I think if they can stop, the Chiefs and their playmakers at the line of scrimmage and not allow them to get into open space early, I could see this going the Bills' way very early.
I think this one really boils down to, I think both quarterbacks are going to have very good games. Whatever defense stops the other team in the red zone, you don't need to do it a bunch. You just need to get a couple of them. Whoever holds the other team to, 2 field goals, that might be the difference.
Yeah.
Holding 2 field goals as opposed to 2 touchdowns, that 8-point difference to me is like that could be the deal breaker. Actually, not could be. That is going to be the deal breaker.
Just like we yell at the Eagles and Sirianni all year, like Sean McDermott, do not abandon the run. The Bills can win this game on the ground first, right? Like they have the 4th ranked rushing offense. I already said, like the Kansas City's ranked 20th on their rush defense. Like they can move the ball on the ground on the Chiefs to set up and help alleviate some, some play action or open things up a bit for Josh Allen. So I would look for them to get it going early on the run before they start, flinging the ball around. And because I think they could do it. They could exploit that matchup in this game. Just don't get away from it, because we've seen the Bills get away from the run. I know we were on the Bills in the last couple of weeks of the season, backing them in some, pretty big spreads. The Tennessee game comes to mind, like where they just, they abandoned that run game, especially in the red zone, where I think they really have an advantage in this game on the ground.
Yeah, don't abandon the Josh Allen run. I mean, he is built like that, and I mean, he just breaks those plays, and it's backbreaking when you're covering dudes up, and he just scrambles for 20.
I mean, especially for a subpar defense, right? Where you need as many stops as you can get, and if you feed in and you have those breaking plays, to your point, Sean, then all the more reason to like Buffalo in this one and that matchup.
I think you give them the keys to the car, like this. If I'm anybody in that organization, like whoever it may be, I'm giving you the keys to the car. Whatever you feel, whatever you see, you've earned it, and you are our guy at this point. We're pot committed to Josh Allen. This is your moment, dude. Just let him go. Let him spin. Whether it be on the ground, in the air, he could do it all.